Alright, in this video, we will be able to characterize the nature of roots of quadratic equations. So what we have here is three quadratic equations, and what we're going to do is to solve this using the quadratic formula, and uh, we'll get it from there. So let's start with number one. This will become x equals uh, 5 plus minus square root of b square means 25 minus 4ac means 4 times 2. 4 times 2 times negative 3, then 2 over 2. 2, that's for 2a. So we have 5 plus minus 4 times 2 times 3 is 24, plus 25, that is 49, divided by 4. So we have 5 plus minus 7 all over 4. Therefore, x is 5 plus 7 is 12 divided by 3, 4, that is 3. Or 5 minus 7 is negative 2 divided by 4, we have negative 1 half. Okay? So let's take a look with number 2. So we have x negative 6 because b is 6. Then we have 6 square means 36 for b square minus 4ac. Then we have 4 times 1, which is a, and c is 9. So we'll have 2 over 1, 2 times 1 rather. We have negative 6 plus minus 36 minus, oh, that's 36 minus 36, okay, all over 2. So here we have negative 6 plus minus 0 divided by 2. So that gives us, therefore, that gives us x equals whatever happens here, because this is 0, negative 6 plus 0, negative 6 minus 0 are all negative 6, which is only negative 3. So take note of this, that in number 1 and number 2 equation, we have only one real solution. Okay, so for number 3, we have x equals, since b is negative 2, therefore that's going to be 2 plus minus b square means 4 minus 4, a is 3, then c is 5, all over 2 times 3. Then we are left with 2 plus minus, so we have here 4 minus 435, that is 20 times 60 minus 4. 4 minus 60 is negative 56 divided by 6. So here we have, since there is no real square root of negative 56, we cannot get the square root of a negative number. Therefore, this one has no real solution because of this. Okay, so what does it tell us? What does it tell us is that in a quadratic equation, three things might happen. Okay, so these are what we call nature of roots of quadratic equation. It might be like in number 1, we have two real solutions, which are 3 or negative 1 over 2. Then it might also be in number 2 that we can only have one real solution, which is negative 3, or it might be number 3, which we do not have a real solution. What does it mean when say no real solution? Is that there is actually a solution, it's just that the solution is not in the real number system. It means imaginary numbers, and that's another topic. Okay, so no real solution. It means that you cannot see the solution in the number line, a real number line. Okay, so in general, with these three findings here, we have this. Okay, we have that a quadratic equation may either have two real solutions, such as in number 1, one real solution, such as in number 2, okay, or no real solution, such as in number 3. So uh, take note of this. This is what we're going to take note of this. If, look at this, I want you to take note of that. Okay, this one is positive 49. Okay, this one is 0. This one is negative 56. So what does it mean here is that this basically tells us that if this is greater than 0, if this one is greater than 0, I'm gonna change that into, if this one is greater than 0, so if the number inside the square root sign is greater than 0 or positive, meaning we can get the square root of that. So we'll have eventually two real solutions. If that inside is exactly equal to 0, meaning this plus minus doesn't matter anymore. So we are left with negative 6 over 2 negative 3. So we have 1 negative 3. So here in number 3, if that is, since we cannot get the square root of a negative number, if that is, what does it tell us is that this one is less than 0. Negative means less than 0. So we will have no real solution. So in general, we can summarize this into like this. The number of solutions in a quadratic equation, number of real solutions in a quadratic equation, can be quickly determined based on the result of that b square minus 4ac, that number, that quantity inside the square root sign. Okay, here 49, here is 0, and here is negative 56. Okay, so what does it tell us? If the result of that b square minus 4ac is positive, okay, it simply tells us that if the result of that b square minus 4ac is positive, therefore our quadratic equation has two real solutions. Okay, so if the result of that b square minus 4ac is exactly 0, we're going to have a one real solution for that quadratic equation. And if the result of that b square minus 4ac is negative, meaning less than 0, the quadratic equation will have no real solution. Okay, so what does it tell us is that in determining the number of real solutions in a quadratic equation, we don't need to solve. Okay, we don't need to solve the equation just to determine how many real solutions are there. Okay, we don't need to solve using extracting the square root, factorization, completing the square, using the quadratic formula, just what we did above. We don't need to do that just to determine the number of real solutions. Okay, what do? Is we simply use this b square minus 4ac and take a look if which one satisfies. Okay, which one is satisfied there? So this one, this b square minus 4ac, that's what we call discriminant. symbol is D. Okay, discriminant in such a way that it discriminates the number of real solutions in a quadratic equation. Okay, so if D is greater than 0, therefore we have two real solutions. If D is exactly equal to 0, then we have one real solution, and if that is less than 0, therefore we have no real solution. So let's take a look at some examples. Okay. um, Number one, if we have, let us say we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 equals 0. Again, to determine the number of real solutions in this quadratic equation, we don't need to solve this using the many methods that we probably knew before about solving quadratic equation. We just simply use the b squared minus 4ac. So we say that um, b squared minus 4ac becomes, okay, uh, 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 5. Look at this. We'll have 9 plus 20 times 20 times 2 is 40. We'll have 49. Okay? Since the result is positive, we actually do not care of that what particular number, what particular result. We just simply take a look at if either the result is positive, the result is negative, the result is equals to 0. So since the result is positive, therefore, since um, 49 is greater than 0, of course, the discriminant, it tells us that the discriminant is positive, okay? The D is positive, then 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 has two real solutions. Okay, so that's simply as that. Okay, that's simply as that. It's number 2. So we have x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals 0. Okay, so we have b squared minus 4ac equals, our b is 10, so we'll have negative 10 squared minus 4, 1, c is 25. So we'll have 100 minus 4 times 25 is 100. Yeah. So that is 0. Since the result is 0, what does it tell us if the result is 0? So here it tells us that if the result is 0, there, the equation has only one real solution. Okay? Only one real solution. So therefore, your d is equals to 0. Since d is equals to 0, x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals 0 has one real solution. Okay, that's it. So since we just simply take a look at this result. Okay, so number 3, probably the last. So we have number 3, we have 2x squared minus 3x plus 7 equals 0. Okay, so we have b squared minus 4ac. This is our discriminant. The value of b is negative 3, so that is negative 3 squared minus 4. A is 2, c is 7, and we simply have is 9 minus, oh, that's 8 times 7, so you have, what is that? 14 times 4 means that's 28 times 2, meaning that's 56. Okay, therefore that is negative 47. Okay, since the result is negative, which meaning this is less than 0, negative means less than, take note of that. 2x squared minus 3x plus 7 equals 0 has no real solutions. Okay, because the if we're going to do the quadratic formula, the result inside the square root will become negative 47. And we cannot get the square root of negative 47. Therefore, that will have no real solutions. Okay, that's all.